Well, good morning. Welcome back to another Market Open live stream. Let's take a look and see what's going on in the market. I already saw this morning, and it's nuts that the 10-year Treasury is plummeting. In fact, let's go ahead and pull that up together. Let's try to figure out what's going on today. We got Fed minutes coming out today, but take a look at this 10-year Treasury here, just almost going to break 1.3 here. It's absolutely incredible. In fact, that it almost looks like that's potentially what they're talking about here on CNBC as well. But pretty incredible drop here. Look at this plummet right towards the end. If we zoom in a little bit, let's go to the 5-day, see that a little bit more. There you go. Look at that plummet. Got Fed minutes coming out today on their last meeting. In fact, let me see if they're out yet. Let's go to Federal Reserve here. Nope, not yet. So their minutes are not out just yet. But when they do come out, it'll be interesting to see how the market reacts. But so far, the market's looking at, bonds at least, and potentially saying, hey, you know what? Maybe we are at peak inflation, which is very interesting given that yesterday I ran a poll on Twitter, and more of you, slightly more than half of you, said that big inflation is coming, and that peak inflation is not anywhere close. That was what 52% of you said, and 48% of you said that peak inflation was already here. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens, because we do have such a split. The market is extremely split in terms of what our expectations are. So we'll have to see, but inflation's going to be a real one. It's going to be an interesting debate, so to speak. All right, so we do have Bitcoin sitting at 34,000. There we go, maximize that properly. There we go, almost 35,000 now, 34,800. We have, looking at the leaders for pre-market, let's take a peek over here. We've got, let's see, there we go. All right, perfect. Okay, Clover Health, 4.6%. Maps, WM Tech, up 8.18. It's Weed Maps. So that's interesting. I wonder why Weed Maps all of a sudden is up. SunPower, Coinbase, Blue Apron, Property Solutions, Arcimoto, Riot Blockchain, Whirlpool, Canoe. These guys all moving up today. There's Hut 8 again. Another green day. This has been such an incredible rider here. SoFi Tech, DocuSign up again. Oh my gosh, DocuSign doesn't end either. Tattoo, what do we have? Yeah, Tattoo Chef right here with Peloton, Matterport. These guys up a bit. Not a lot of movement here, but that 1% range, with the exception of the fact that Amazon up again 1%. Amazon's going to be breaking 4,000 soon. That's crazy. AMC down 3.85% yesterday. 4.62% yesterday. Boy, oh boy, should have yesterday at market open, had we sold that call we were talking about. So we were waiting for a little bit of run, and we were trying to sell that call. If we'd sold that call, that would have been ideal yesterday morning. Pricing today obviously would be wrecked a little bit on trying to sell that call. But yeah, I mean, this is definitely interesting. We're at 47.70 now. Let's go ahead and pull this up here. Let's see what we got. Let's go to chart, not order here. All right, so we are now leaving the channel, which we've been in for quite a while. We've been in this channel here for about 3 weeks, sitting between this 51 level and about 61 level, approximately, rounding a little bit. Our lines are actually at 50.85 and 60.96 here. But if we zoom in a little bit, we can see we have broken. Yesterday, we did break beneath a very, very strong support level. And it was very sudden, too, how all of a sudden we kind of broke through this line. And we didn't even hesitate at this line. It's just a full break. Let's go to 5 minutes. Oh, yeah, look at that. Full break through this line right here. Not good. Not good, which immediately then became a resistance when we tried to run again to the upside. So are seeing some stronger volume coming in here. Also not good to see that volume all of a sudden being associated with a decline in prices. Not so good. Let's zoom back a little bit here. Let's see what's going on. So, and this comes after the CEO mentioned that they won't consider raising more share money over the next within this year, which is a little interesting that the day after that we start seeing the all of a sudden stock price fall. Let's go ahead and see if this is happening potentially because of an increase in shorts. Let's maybe go to Ortex, see what we've got here. After we go to Ortex, let's also go to the Bloomberg Black app. Let's figure out what's going on a little bit here. So give me one moment to pull these up. Ortex and Bloomberg. All right, here we go. So Ortex, AMC. Okay, here we go. Okay, so short interest on AMC sitting at 18.66% according to Ortex here. Let's see. Here we go. 18 point, actually now down to 18.24%, down slightly a little bit. Although here it does mention that today's change is up 1.36% on short interest, which is interesting because here it actually looked like it went down a little bit. So a little confusing. Then we've got 85.8 on share utilization. Okay, let's try Bloomberg as well. Let me jump on over here while I pull up Bloomberg. Let's see what they've got to say over here. It looks like they're going to be on China.
Really laying down the law and making sure that people know that these technology companies need to answer to Beijing. Now, another thing that was interesting today was that Chinese media was interpreting and reviewing the guidelines that we got out of Beijing yesterday.
I'm going to pull off this really quick and just mention that what China just did to Didi, I think is going to really sandbag new potential IPOs for really America's trust, because anybody who just invested into Didi kind of got wrecked, and it's not their fault either, which is really that's probably the most frustrating part. It's not their fault. China comes out the next day and just rips on the company the next day. That's ridiculous. All right, let's see what we got here. There we go. All right, now we got Bloomberg coming up. We can figure out what's going on in terms of short interest in Bloomberg. That will take a second to load up. All right. Meantime, let's see what else we got here. Yeah, DD's down another 4% right now after dropping 19.58% yesterday, dropping 4.08% today. Palantir down 2% in pre-market here. GameStop down 161. Purple down again. Purple really going back to that 18 to 20 level. It's incredible. Moderna dropping 0.7. A lot of recovery over here. Look at this. You got the banks. You got the airlines. Some recovery stocks here. Delta, American Air, Spirit. There's Marriott. Cheesecake. Yeah, Cheesecake continuing this. Well, then again, it's more of this consolidation after a decline here. I do want to look at, yesterday we were talking about Wynn a little bit. Let's take a look at Wynn. Yeah, see, Wynn's also been sort of on this declining trend here. Let's see, where can we draw a nice one? Let's see here. Oh, yeah, there we go. It's okay. Trend line could be a little better, but we'll see. Yeah, and then overall, it does look like, let's see. No, that's, yeah, you could almost draw that. Yeah, almost. Look at that. It's not so good. No, I don't like that one so much. But anyway, you're definitely seeing some pain at in the recovery sector here, and it's been accelerating. So we'll see what happens if earnings end up propping these folks out. I don't know. All right, let me grab Black App quickly because I do want to try to figure out what's going on with AMC. So apps. There's a lot of talk about China, but I'm more interested also in trying to figure out why the heck right now Treasury yields are plummeting the way they are. It really wouldn't surprise me, though, if it is just inflation expectations U-turning. This is something we expected. In fact, I have a video, and I've talked about this many times before, but it's easy for us to forget these, because I mean, I've even forgotten. But I went back and looked at some of my old videos, and I would frequently say that expect the media to clickbait the crap out of inflation, and it'll make us have the fear of God in us about inflation. and that's kind of what happened. But anyway, take a look at this. Short interest actually went up a little bit on AMC per the black app here. Look at this. Yeah, there you go. You can see it at 19.19%, ticking up tiny a little bit. This could be one of the reasons we're seeing that decline. Get myself back up over here. There we go. That could be why we're seeing a little bit of a decline in AMC, is that the short interest is popping up a little bit. And I think this is where it's entirely possible you have the hedgies that come out and say, hey, maybe this is our opportunity. Maybe the diamond handers are weakening a little bit, and the hedgies are picking up on that weakness, and they're coming in, increasing their short position. And according to the black app, at least, I don't see this as much on what's it called? Vortex. But at least according to this app, that appears to be what we're seeing. A little bit of additional shorting. All right, let's go back here. AMC still down 4.56% though. Meta down 2.78. You've got GameStop down 1.93. Palantir down a bit. Let's look at GME quickly as well. Oops. There we go. Let's do a GME. There we go. Now, GameStop down on short interest, 13.17%. And it's been trending down all month. All right. All right, let's hop on over here. Let's get a little bit of Bloomberg Live. Let's see what we got. If we can get some answers here in terms of what's going on with treasuries. We'll get this to load up at the same time as we could just go to Bloomberg.com. U.S. futures rise. Treasury note rally accelerates. Remember, when prices go up, we end up seeing bond yields go down. And that's what we're seeing right now. 10-year tumbled for a second day, dropping briefly below 1.3 for the first time since February, amid concerns the global inflation trade could be faltering. All right, let's see here. All right, technology shares led the charge following the NASDAQ 100's rise to a record on Tuesday, and commodity sectors also outperformed. Bond market isn't waiting for the Fed. Yields are plunging again today. That's going to have an equity impact. You're seeing tech and NASDAQ doing better. You're likely to see smaller cap and value lag. Well, I mean, this is kind of something we've been talking about for a few weeks now. Actually, well, a few months, but more recently, we've been starting to see that inflection point for a few weeks now. The dollar was little changed against a basket of major currencies. Oil extended gains. This oil thing's not going to last long. And keep in mind, the oil run affects producer inflation more than it does consumer inflation. So keep that in mind if you're thinking about oil, because a lot of folks do look at oil and they're like, oh no, if oil's going up, then all of a sudden we're gonna have more inflation, right? So anyway, all right, let's see, where are our gainers here? Okay, PSAC. I thought they moved up more than this. Yeah, they did. Faraday Solutions. So one thing, I'm going to be transparent here. One thing that bothered me a little bit about Faraday Solutions is they had a model car that they've had people ride for about 4 years, and they do test drives with that car. And it wasn't until a few weeks ago that they mentioned, oh, we're actually going to be doing a refresh of that model. And then all of a sudden, the stock started moving up again. But that is now, I think that excitement is potentially wearing down a little bit. So I can't think of another reason why Faraday Solutions is moving the way it is. Arcimoto, 3%. Coinbase, 2.4%. You know, also curious, by the way, if you go into options on Coinbase, be interesting to see if you just put your way in. Oh, speaking of which, I wonder if you could put your way in on HUT. Let's see here. There are virtually no options available for this. Yeah, so maybe not. Never mind. But anyway, yeah, wow. the volume on Hut every single day is just getting more and more and more. It's been an incredible runner. A lot of you are invested in this, I found, and so good job. Okay, let's see here. This has a market cap of, well, they're almost at $1 billion market cap in Canadian dollars now. Congratulations to them. Still smaller market cap, of course. Proterra, 1675. Let's see what you got. I don't know anything about Proterra. I mean, just in fairness, 1675. Oh yeah, okay. So somewhere around here. Yeah, I mean, I see what you're looking at, but yeah, you've got this this sort of consolidation happening over here. Be interesting. Here's your sort of May declining trend, recovery, consolidation. You know, and this has been what's been so weird about this market, honestly, is just since February, we've had these falls, peaks, falls, peaks, falls, peaks, and it's just Proterra is a really good example of just the madness of this market. And look at this: lower low, lower low, lower low, recovery, now consolidating. It's just the last 4 months. 4 to 5 months have been rough for a lot of folks. Yeah, it's been a buying opportunity, but hey, we'll see what ends up happening here with tech. A lot of things recovering, obviously, very nicely, especially the higher val. I mean, DocuSign, such an amazing recovery from under 200 to almost 300 very quickly. Peloton, and this is something we mentioned too, is that recoveries can happen fast. You know, folks, many times over the last few months, especially in May when we're hitting the bottom, like, Kevin, if you think it's going to take till September, October for tech to recover, then why wouldn't we sell and then buy back in? I was like, well, because I don't know when it's going to recover. I said buy, not in. You know, the recovery came very, very quickly for a lot of these. Now it's kind of frustrating because it's like, all right, cool. So now we have a bit of a recovery. You know, Amazon's running, Apple's running, Peloton's kind of recovered. I mean, Peloton's recovered a lot. You know, Redfin hasn't really recovered much, but I wonder if Redfin's kind of slowing down under the weight of potentially slowing down home sales, possibly pending home sales falling. Talked about that yesterday. We've got PayPal. PayPal's been doing great as well, almost back up to 300. C3AI is just hanging out at its support level, kind of boring. That's one that's been a little boring still. That one still hasn't launched. Tesla up about 0.5%, but Tesla was also down like 3% yesterday. Invitae, oh, you know, worth mentioning that we actually did a genetics test with Invitae for, well, 4 doesn't matter so much, but it's good things. But anyway, it was really cool seeing Invitae actually show up. Let's go listen to Jim for a moment. Let's see what we got over here.
Proved to be true, and this is the seasonally strong period. More important,
Brandon's asking if I want to know his favorite Meet Kevin moment of all time. Oh, sure. Was it by the dip?
Why do the Chinese approve of those companies?
It's a good question.
Yeah, it is.
A lot of jobs. All right. You got a mad dash coming up.
Yes.
Get to work. Figure out what you're going to talk about. We're going to be right back.
All right. Well, fine, CNBC.
Democrat colleagues and some Republican colleagues 6 different bills to address the monopoly behavior of these companies and their status. And
boring. Brandon says CNBC came out firing against Peloton. Then someone on their added you saying you were trying to mislead people with Peloton at $80, saying you were misleading. And then you went ham and said, shorted, I dare you. Oh, man. Okay, so CNBC was ripping on Peloton, and then somebody in the chat must have gone off on how bad Peloton was at $80, huh? That's funny. Well, thank you for saying that. That's really cool. We should find that clip. That'd be funny. Actually, it probably wouldn't be too hard to find, given that Peloton was only at $79 for a day ish. So thank you for that. That's cool. All right, so let's look at price action again here on AMC. I don't. Yeah, see, options pricing is just getting wrecked now. Let me see if I go to. Oof. I mean, ideally you go 45 out to 90 out, but I am usually a baby and I go longer out because just. Yeah, well, whatever. Let's see. July. Let's go to. I don't know. Go to like July 20th. And let's go for calls. All right. So you threw in a July, or this is August 20th. August 20th, $50 call. I mean, you could still, if you sold an August call, that's still decent. That's not bad. I mean, this is going to drop. Probably only be like 14 now. But, all right, we'll take a look and see what happens here with AMC in the morning. Well, when we open in 8 minutes. But then again, pricing will shift and take time for pricing to update on Webull because Webull's a little behind the options price. Whatever, we'll figure it out. So Weed Maps. I do wonder what's going on with Weed Maps. I'm going to pull that up really quick. Criminal Kramer. Oh my gosh. You made like 25K on the trade. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, Amazon another 1%. It's crazy. Even better, Kevin literally said for months he would wait until 80 to buy. Oh man. I'm just waiting for the day the terminal code is gain, and then I'm going all in. So that's funny. All right, let's go Weed Maps. But yeah, I did add to Peloton under 80 pretty nicely, but I did also buy a little bit above that. Let me go type in. I want to figure out what's going on at Weed Map. Weed Map. Okay, Weed Map. Let's see. Weed Map. There we go. Okay, here we go. So Weed Maps. Actually, I'm having trouble getting news on it. Here we go. Company news. Okay, so the Yelp pod is now public, but Weed Maps parent reverse. No, I don't see the Yelp for pod. I love that. I don't exactly see why all of a sudden Weed Maps is running here. Maybe I'm just missing it. Okay. All right. Well, anyway. So, was there a Kramer pump on Weed Maps? Is that it? Thank you for that. Thank you for pointing that out. All right. So, thoughts on Corsair, long, short term. Yeah, of Corsair. So, CRSR, it's not one that I think is primed for big growth going forward. And for me, it's not very exciting. I think it had a phenomenal run. I think it went public at a perfect time for more gaming sales. And yeah, Moderna. I'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, I don't know. To me, I think one of the reasons it looks cheap valuation-wise is because the market's not pricing in any kind of real growth anymore. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. It's not to say the company's not going to grow. It's not going to do well. I like some of their products, but yeah, it's not for me. That's not to say it's not to say that I want it to go down or whatever. I just don't really care. But this is my take on it. Okay, somebody was saying, oh yeah, mRNA. Yeah, so mRNA. I mean, these companies were companies that I've just been waiting for an opportunity to buy. I own a little bit of Pfizer and Moderna. These have been companies I've been wanting to buy much cheaper, and you just can't get them cheaper, and so they're just kicking butt. But I'm not gonna change my mind and try to catch up. CRISPR's been nice. I added some options to CRISPR, but got a nice run here. But Invitae has not really matched this. See, Invitae's kind of been pained here. So in the therapeutic space, you got a discount on Invitae, or genomics, I should say. Oh well. So what else? Let's see SoFi here. SoFi. There we go. SoFi sitting at 1.33% to the upside in pre-market. There we go. That's nothing though. 1.33 after like a 4% decline yesterday. Yesterday was the day to sell puts on lots of things. Matterport was also red. How's BTC? Let's see how we're doing here. So BTC 34.7. Good. Let's see here. This is very interesting. See, yesterday we ended up bouncing right along this 33.7 line. We drew this yesterday, the 33.7. This is a stronger support line here for us. I'm going to draw this a little stronger. There we go. So this was one that we drew yesterday, and we didn't stay here for too long. Bounced off that pretty quickly. So we'll see if we can. And look, we're getting like ceilinged over here on Bitcoin. Okay, we got 3 minutes to the bell. Yeah, right around here, right around 35.1. This is a double hit now here. Let's go ahead and draw a line here too. Yeah, let's see if we can break through that. Yeah, okay. We've played off this line a little softly before, but more recently we are. So we'll see if we end up breaking this. Right now we're bouncing off of it. All right, let's go back over here. Frozen foods when people want to go out. Oh, what are we talking about frozen food for? SoFi was Kramer pumped and it did nothing. And Vita has 11. Vita, I like Invite. Sold in the money puts on SoFi Friday. Well, there you go. Somebody's hoping Tesla won't disappoint today. Well, let's see.
To ask you the key to this market, but I think I know the answer in some ways, Jim, at least. It's got to be the 10-year yield,
I was going to say
doesn't
it's
it?
not a stock, it's the 10-year, because once again, we're sitting here understanding that most people thought 10, when it was at 1.75, it was going to 2.
Yes.
And you had to get a mortgage. Mortgage applications are actually down a little bit. It was time. The bell went off. How many people said you typically don't hear the bell? 1.75. Well, that was totally wrong. I think it's foreign buying. Some people are saying to me, "Listen, Jim, it's the worry about Taiwan, since that's what all." A lot of people just keep telling me, "Watch, they're going to squeeze Taiwan Semi," which of course is the most important company on earth when it comes to semis because they make most of them, make a great deal of them. But I will tell you, David, that when you look at the rates in these other countries, you almost are not a fiduciary.
So is this not a reflection of a complete dissipation of concern about inflation?
The average piece that came out today, I would call good as it gets. Most of the people that I read are saying it's time to get out of anything cyclical. It's as good as it gets. If you look at Freeport's really the test case.
It's a big statement. Big statement. Most of the people, Jim Cramer saying most of the people are saying it's time to get out of cyclical. Should be good for tech, but some of the tech is still lagging, like Tesla.
A peak in commodities, and now it's being reflected in 10 years. And foreign buying. Foreign buying is always elusive, but we do have numbers later on.
There's the opening bell for this Wednesday. The big boards, they got
All right, there's the open. We've got Workhorse, SoFi, Clove, AMC up here on the chart. Taking a peek right now. Workhorse dropping beneath that support line. You got Clove going down. You got SoFi actually moving down. You got just all the momentum right now. Red. AMC trying to go up a little bit. Look at these red candles, though, here. Pain. Lots of pain across the board here. On let's see, but the stock market's pretty mixed. Look at the heat map there. About half. Actually, no, I'd probably say maybe 40% green. So, but yeah, red here. There goes MREN. Look at that. MREN just plummeted 19%. We mentioned, and now look, this thing, I've said before, I think this thing's just going to give up 70% of its market value in like a heartbeat. And that's why I've stayed away from this one. But look, I said that last week, and then the thing ended up running another 20%. It's crazy. It did go down after I said that, but anyway, you got You never know when is the thing. So okay, yeah. Here's AMC holding on to that 4%. Now AMC, I think, is just getting shorted more right now. Emrin, I don't think people are actually into Diamond Hand. look, consider this too. Like, you have like GME and AMC. You got folks who are really in these to Diamond Hand. Like, I'm not going anywhere, right? Oh, AMC now down 4.5%. It's kind of bobbing around. Let's see here. Let's see if we can still get our cover position on this. Let's see if pricing just got wrecked. I don't know if it did. Here, give me a second here. We'll listen to Kramer for a second. I'll tell you.
Tally was one that was done. That was a game of musical chairs. So if you're playing data storage, remember 26 people, Melville, no real business, and you're taking that company up, and you're saying, "Listen, I'm buying it 12." These are what a lot of Robinhood people do. They're buying it at 12.5. They are betting it's going to go to 14. All right, and if it gets to 14, they can liquidate it. Another 10 million, another million shares just traded. David, this is going on. Why Gary Gensler fiddles?
He's got a lot on his plate.
No, I'm not going to do anything yet. So I haven't traded anything yet here. So we'll keep an eye on this here. But the best time, generally, to sell a covered position is when the stock is going up, not down. And so I think I'm going to rather wait. I want to see if we can get back to our support line. I think that'd be better. That would be very nice. Let's see what happens. Okay, so Weedmap's moving up now 11%. It's incredible. Let's see here. Oh, there we go. Okay, 9.17%. Luminar all of a sudden taking off here. Trade test up. Dad Bod's shouting out my course. Thank you for that. 433 is a deal for his course. The stuff you learn about personal finance, taxes, ATC, all the things we never learned into it. Aw, thank you for that. Oh, wow. I come back to the chat for a moment and y'all checking out, y'all talking about the course. Thank you for that. Okay, let's see here. I don't actually have calls on AMC. So whoever's asking me how my calls are going on AMC, I do not have calls. Also, in fairness, it's kind of odd to ask somebody how somebody's calls are doing on a day that a stock is red. Not again, I don't have any calls in AMC, but yeah, the timing of that is a little weird. All right, so what's Hot 8 doing? Is it moving a little bit? Peloton, wow, Peloton, seriously, 2.28%. That's great. Shopify moving still. Look at that. That's incredible. Let's go to single chart here. I like the 4 chart at the open, but it gets a little complicated to watch. All right, here we go. 4 chart's nice if you're working on like one monitor, and then you have the 4 chart up. Oh, look at that, Shopify. This probably looks a lot like Amazon right now. We'll see. Square's moving too. Ooh, I like this. Ooh, this is good. Oh, this is so great for tech. Oh my gosh, Peloton, 3%. Are you serious? Oh my gosh, Trade Desk. What the? Gee, this is nuts. Okay. I mean, hey, if people want to move into tech, that's fine. I mean, hey, pick up all my tech stocks. I'm looking for an out. I'm looking to transfer out of all my tech calls. Enphase almost back to 200. That's great. I'm not super jumping up and down to go buy something. So I don't really care that prices are higher right now. It's actually a good thing. Wow. AMC tried to rally there, and wow, that's an incredible U-turn here. Come on, AMC. Man, I did the same thing yesterday. I'm like, I should buy it. I mean, I should do my option, and then I didn't do it, and then it plummets on me. Oh yeah, whatever. Sometimes the timing's great, sometimes the timing's not. Unfortunately, it's usually more great than it's not, I think. But anyway, So yeah, Palantir all of a sudden dropping here a good chunk here. We're down to about 3.55%. Yeah, AMC now down about 6.4. I mean, ugh, look at that. Look at that crush. Oh my gosh. Oh, I had my finger on execute too. Where are we going? It's 41 maybe? Oh. Ay, ay, ay. Jeez, man. 6.5% down now. Okay. What do we got over here for a moment?
You really focused on that.
Well, I want people
can I
to
get you
know what
focused on something?
BGL is. And I went to the head of the SEC. You know what we're going to give that guy? We're going to go to Denny's.
Yeah.
We're going to give him the Grand Slam because that's a full play.
Okay, Jim.
On the potential for the cyclical trade not to lose significant steam, but for the growth trade to reaccelerate a little bit here. All sectors of the S&P are up on the year, but those that are sort of more cyclical in nature are up significantly more. It wouldn't surprise us if by the end of this year, we see a little bit of a normalization across sectors in terms of performance where growth picks up steam in this sort of low interest rate environment. We think
I love it.
for the S&P.
I love, after me waiting for 4 months, all of a sudden, all the suits going, it's time to go back to growth. I love it. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Sorry, I got to listen a little bit more of this guy.
$20 S&P 500 current annualized earnings rate on it. It's about 19 and a half times. With 10s at 130, it looks like an opportunity for us to still remain relatively constructive on equities here.
Oh, gosh, down 8% on AMC now.
Value line index, it's up about 22% this year, outperforming the S&P by a wide margin.
Esty, let's build on some of that. Next week, bank earnings. We kick off earnings season with JP Morgan on July 13th. When those numbers come out, and I'm not being flippant about this, I just wonder whether these numbers really matter or it all comes down to just one call in the bond market. If I tell you where 10-year yields are going to end the year, will that shape your call more than the earnings surprises on Wall Street, up or down, over the next several quarters?
If we're talking about year end and where financials might end up, to be honest, probably the bond yield is going to be the bigger driver compared to the earnings results.
Wow.
We know earnings are going to remain very strong, probably for banks as well. There might be a question of, are expectations so high, or do companies need to beat by so much as they did in the first quarter?
That's interesting that she's suggesting that bond yields are going to be a bigger deal than company earnings. AMC sitting at 8% to the downside right now, coming a day after the AMC CEO mentions they do not plan to sell more shares, at least this year, or hold a vote to do so. You got DD down another 5%. You got the Next Door SPAC. Yesterday I mentioned I was very not happy about the Next Door SPAC. I think it's way too early. So it's currently down 7.22% here. So we'll see what happens here. It does look like AMC's trying to recover a little bit. It's having a little bit of a rough run here. It does almost make you wonder if there's a big old short attack here of the shorts reloading, because you've got the same thing happening here at GameStop as well. And this big and quick volume. Ocugen, Skills, Lordstown, Palantir, a lot of the Reddit momentum stocks just getting pummeled here. Arcimoto was green. Arcimoto opened green and then all of a sudden just got pummeled here as well. Microvision, Workhorse, look at these. These are all momentums. Workhorse, Microvision, Wish, FUV, Posh, Ears, Send, Space, Gnog, Ride, all of them. They're all momentum. And they're just getting whacked right now. Going to the let's go look at the upside here. Upside wise, Trade Desk, I mean 4.25. This is unbelievable. It's amazing. Amazing at Trade Desk. You got Ethereum. Well, we know this. Let's see. Intelia's up again after a little bit of a sell down yesterday. Roblox going back to 90. Peloton up 2.5. Enphase up a couple percent, well into the 190s now. Square over 250. SunPower moving up here. Got, let me look at some of the recently viewed here. Oh, wow. DQ all of a sudden moving. DQ moving. Nice. Canadian Solar moving. Nice. Sunrun moving. Very nice. Good. Solar industries moving. Energy industries moving. Love it. Very, very bullish on the sector. Coinbase 1.44. Kind of sitting flat here in these. I mean, having trouble basically staying above 240. Amazon and Pinterest 81. Wow. Amazon 37.19. CrowdStrike's doing well. Churchill Capital's up again. Woof. Very nice. AMC still sitting at that 8% level here. MREN down 21%. Okay, let's go give this a shot over here.
I think that when you think about what's wrong in our country, the grid comes to mind. Generac, all-time high. And these are companies that make it so that we can use solar in our home as charging. I don't understand, David, why we don't see more growth.
Yeah, there's no Fed meeting today. They're releasing minutes, which is just their notes from their prior meeting in June. What are my thoughts on the acquisition of ticker Grub? Ugh, not much. Just eat takeaway. Seriously, that's what it's called. I don't know anything about it. Know nothing about it, but just the idea of like to-go food right now. Well, let's look at it. Let me see what it is. I don't know what it is. Oh, Carvana's gonna be up. I wonder if that'll be good for Shift. So online, sorry. Online food ordering company. The company offers a mobile application for ordering and delivering food of beverages. I mean, this sounds like a great pandemic play, but it's a Netherlands company. Yeah, that makes sense because they're calling it takeaway. That's a very German and Dutch thing to say. Oh, Donald Trump to sue Zuckerberg. Oh, man. Well, I mean, in fairness, that's not a terrible surprise. I'm surprised it took as long as it did. All right. Let's go back over here. Oh, AMC now down 9.24%. It's continuing its sell down here. Yeah, the options pricing probably just got destroyed. It was 14K on a 50 here. Let's see, if you sold 14, it's 12.8 now. I mean, $12,800 is still pretty good. And you can still pick this credit up, and then when we get a rebound, collapse out of it. But I don't know. It's on the way down. It's not generally when I like to sell calls. That just kind of goes against my psychology. Yeah, it could be a mistake though, because it could just keep going. But it just feels like it's getting short killed right now. Wow, DQ, Canadian Solar, and SunPower just all jumped up even more. I'm very bullish on this sector, by the way. I think I already said that. Enphase just jumped a bit too. Oh my gosh, so did Peloton. Everything just jumped. What happened? Everything just went up like 1 to 2% that I just mentioned like 2 minutes ago. Enphase, SunPower, Canadian Solar, DQ, all of these just jumped. Enphase 3.25% now. Square's almost at 3%. Woo! Dollars are rolling in. It's crazy. Wow. Apple up another %. Very nice. Ooh. Amazon. Good on Amazon. I got a call option on Amazon. And it's been sitting for too long, going sideways. So I'm happy to see that move. Okay, there we go. AMC recovering a little bit of recovery here. No, back to 8% down. Metamaterials. This is just, it literally all momentum or anything that's ever. Oh, wow. HUD 8 is getting caught up in this mess too. Look at that. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. I wonder. Oh, man. All right, let's listen to CBC for a moment.
Dana White. They're going to join us.
Okay, let's try Bloomberg.
T6. SD, I want to begin with you. Just how investable is this universe of Chinese?
Wait, investable? Is that a word? I guess so.
For the last week.
It's looking more complicated, but I think ultimately it's going to come down to your investment horizon. I have to agree that the long-term picture remains very strong. The growth prospects are strong. Just the domestic market and the the 1.5 billion potential users for a lot of these platforms remains absolutely enormous. So from a longer-term perspective, obviously we'll move past the last few days. But it's true that China is showing itself to be very tough. It started over the winter at the Communist Party meeting recently. They did also show they really felt that whether they made efforts or not with the U.S., the situation wasn't getting much better. So they don't feel like they want to make as much of an effort. They maybe don't worry about protecting, Wall Street and profitability around the big Chinese tech IPOs. So definitely more aggressive behavior in the short term, but it doesn't change the medium-term picture.
Aaron, there's two ways of looking at this. One way is that we just had a Chinese company.
Hey, here's that bounce on, take a look at the bounce here on AMC. Bouncing off 45. That's an interesting bounce point. 45.10. I don't know that I've seen that line before. I don't see that anywhere. And certainly not on the hour. 45.10. That's bizarre. Hey, but markets create new lines. 45.10, no. Yeah, not really. Here we go. No. Oh, maybe here. But that was in a pre-market too. That is weird. It's an interesting bounce spot. Okay. Well, I mean, hey, I think anybody will take any bounce at this point. Still bobbing around that 8% on AMC. See what happens here. Going back to the watch list here. Looking at the downside, volatility much further down here compared to yesterday, at least. Volatility falling again, with the exception, of course, of momentum stocks, which if there were a volatility index for momentum stocks, would not be doing so great today. Even Hyliion getting caught up in this mix. I don't know why HUT was in the mix. Let's pull it here. I don't know where it went. Darn, where's the darn thing? All right, let's find it. HUT. Oh, there we go. HUT's recovering as well right now. Down about 2%. Okay. Weed Maps, SunPower, Peloton. Wow. Oh my gosh, it's almost 130 on Peloton. Okay, we're starting to get to that level where it's like, wait a second. Now it's getting a little ridiculous. Hold on. What's Tesla doing? Because what's ridiculous is Tesla just doing nothing. Of course, it's down 0.64%. Loser stock. Yeah, Peloton's really kicking butt right now. Very interesting. Jeez. And it's so weird too, because a lot of folks looked at Peloton as a recovery play. I'm sorry, not as a recovery play, but as a stay-at-home play, one that wouldn't necessarily trade with tech, one that might trade a little bit more as a stay-at-home play, which might not do as well. But then again, Amazon's seen as a stay-at-home play, so is Netflix. Some of these companies are just kicking butt right now. Shopify, Square. Very interesting. Voozy popping off. Whirlpool's coming back. So Whirlpool had some incredible earnings. Really, really, really good earnings. And as soon as those earnings happen, we got this incredible run up to 257. And it's just given that up. So Whirlpool has actually recently dipped to a low here at around June 17th, June 21st, right around there. Been recovering a bit since then. But geez, look at that. Almost bouncing off the 200-day moving average there. trying to get a little bit more of an understanding on AMC here. Now, still sitting at 8.21%. GameStop following it. Palantir going down with it here. Every momentum, yeah. All the momentums. It's going over here. Let's see, the 1 minute. It's trying to recover. Volume slowing down. Well, we had a bad omen here in the pre-market as well. We saw these volume spikes in the pre-market, and we were starting to see rotation down. It's hard to see now compared to, well, you can always scroll back on the video and then you can see it easier. It's easier to see it when you're in it. It doesn't incorporate the day sticks. All right. Let's give CNBC a listen here.
It's what I do. It's what
Really?
It's kind of like what I.
You're going to go to commercial again? Fine then.
Basically little changed at this point. In terms of what's down, real estate lower, utilities basically little change. And given that bond yields are falling, that's a bit of a surprise here. But I want to focus in specifically on tech and more specifically the NYSE FANG Plus index, because, we've had Facebook go above $1 trillion in market value. You've had records in Amazon and as well as Google's owner Alphabet. And yet the index, the FANG Plus, has really struggled to move above its high in February. And the reason is that it's the problem with the plus. There are a couple of Chinese companies in there, specifically Alibaba Group Holding and Baidu. And they've been down because of this whole tech industry restriction that's going on in the Chinese government. So, you're certainly seeing those stocks weigh on the FANG Plus group.
Dave, want to watch. Dave Wilson there on the equity market, on the sector composition of what we're seeing right now. In the bond market, yields are lower, down by 4 basis points, just north of 130 at 131 on 10s.
Jerry here is talking about Peloton and corporate deals. Folks, pretty much the only reason I went as heavy as I did into Peloton, and I kid you not, was because of Precor. Their acquisition of Precor was literally my version of a real estate wedge deal. Precor, and it's crazy. It's I mean, maybe it's not crazy, but when I was on my when Lauren and I got engaged and we were on a trip in Hawaii, we were in a gym. They had a gym in the hotel. Didn't spend much time on it, but anyway, I fell in love with the Precor gym equipment, and ever since then, I've always been looking for gyms with the Precor gym equipment. It's really good. When you see the pictures, I think you'll agree with me. You might recognize some of these. So Precor are usually the gray machines, and I've always found these gray ones, not this here, to be associated with like higher quality machines. They've got their ellipticals, their treadmills, and these have always been associated with higher quality. And they bought this company for like $400 million. To me, they robbed Precor. Like they got this company for a steal. And I think it's so exciting because it bodes really well for the future of Peloton to get them into strength training, especially if they can incorporate Peloton style, gym folks, or like gym instructing in gyms. That's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, Precor wedge deal of the century for gym companies. I mean, that was, oh my gosh, so happy about that. Anyway, that's also, I put my money where my mouth was on it. And phase 194. Yeah, market is, I mean, look, it's exciting on the green side. Some of these things doing very nicely here. Shopify, Amazon 1.18. Little chillaxed. I mean, it's like what was going to happen happened, and now we're kind of sitting here watching. Although GameStop's still falling. GameStop's falling. Look at that. Gym equipment not being replaced for years in most commercial gyms. Of course. Precor is also nowhere even close to manufacturing a bunch of stuff with Peloton. The whole idea of Precor is like the seed that just got planted at Peloton. It's going to grow and blossom into a beautiful business over the next 10 years. My take. So Boy, oh boy, look at GameStop. Just, it is almost like it's just getting attacked or something here. But AMC now down 9%. GME down 8.64. Ugh. Let's see what else. Trade Desk. Oh my gosh, almost up a full 6%, up at 81 right now. Peloton up 4%. Riot Blockchain 3.4. We got Solar Edge, Enphase. These guys up a bit. 2 1/3. Coinbase 1%. Pinterest a bit. Yeah. Still send to Bloom. Nope. Okay. Let's go ahead and try Fox then. Will be interesting if they can maintain the quality. I don't see why they wouldn't be able to. I mean, I think that's why they bought them, is to get that quality. Didn't look at S. Sentinel-1. Don't know anything about it. I don't really care if something goes up. It's up a couple percent here. So S stock. Let's see. S stock. Sentinel-1. Cybersecurity startup based out of Mountain View. Oh, it's not really a startup when you have 850 employees. My gosh. Well, good for them. $13 billion market cap. Woo. Yeah. Hit me up when tech's selling off, and then we'll look into actually like cybersecurity. I don't know. I like buying big dips. But Trade Desk now 6.5%. This is nuts. My gosh. Oh, AMC down 10.5% now. GameStop almost down 10% as well. Ouch. Ugh. I think we're going to that 41 level. Yeah, I didn't think that other bounce was a real support level. And that appears to be proving itself here. So we'll see what happens. Ugh. S stopped a cyber attack that crowd couldn't stop. Ooh, fancy. That's good for the repertoire. Arcimoto down a bit. Workhorse. Workhorse also down. Palantir dropping 4.5%. It's a big drop. You know, you could probably. Oh, ChargePoint too. What is ChargePoint? What's ChargePoint doing over here? Yeah, that's interesting. ChargePoint's going down. ChargePoint heavily relying on commercial business for profitability. And I don't know if we're quite ready yet for commercial EVs. I mean, I think the market is, but like money-wise, is the market ready to pay to go all EV above and beyond just like showing off? Like, oh, you're going EV. So, all right, is Bloomberg back? Nope, definitely not. Oh gosh, that was annoying.
When allergies attack, take Allegra.
Before your symptoms take over you.
Live your greatness.
Hiring? ZipRecruiter helps me find.
Nope, it's all commercial on CNBC as well. Someone says CCIV is killing me. I have calls for July 16th and July 30th. Jeez, man, why? Why the short-term stuff? That's what kills me. So when did you buy that short-term stuff? When it was going up? This is why I hate the short-term calls, because you just get wrecked. I mean, short-term calls, those have got to be down like 20% today for 16th. $27. Yeah, look at that. Down 31%. See how quickly you just got wrecked on some of these? Ooh, not so good. Listen to, but yeah, I'd be nervous. I mean, you can always roll these forward to the next ones, a few weeks down the road. But let's listen to CNBC for a moment.
That we are watching right now. Sources reporting just moments ago that former President Trump is planning to sue Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg and Twitter's Jack Dorsey. As you can see, though, those shares are still higher this morning. We're going to keep an eye for developments along those fronts. In the meantime, solar company Sonova getting a boost after an upgrade from Raymond James to strong buy from Outperform, as the firm says, buy the dip. You can see those shares are up 4% right now. And finally, Apple's at record highs. This is amidst a tech resurgence, hitting levels that we haven't seen since late January as that big tech name joins the rally. David.
Yeah, that has been quite a story in the last 2 days. Amazon and Apple in particular. Yields as well have been a big story this morning. The 10-year yield, that hit 1.3%, even. CNBC senior markets commentator Mike Santoli joins us now. He's going to explain what it all means for different parts of the market. Mike.
Yeah, David, obviously been kind of a confounding move for the majority of investors, really retracing a lot of that yield surge we saw starting about 11 months ago. Actually, take a look at the one-year chart of the 10-year yield, because it does show you the overall shape of the move and how we've basically just been kind of consolidating backsliding.
Oh, man, AMC down 12% now. It is really going to that support line. 41.
Of the gain in yields from about 0.5% to 1 3/4%. And if we had the 200-day average here, it would look something like this, and it would come right there in around mid 120s is where the 200-day average is. It's still showing you that the yields are trending higher, but it's been testing that area and sort of becoming very frustrated. And yes, that is filtered into a NASDAQ-led market. This market wants to grab for stable defensive things with the incremental dollar. That has meant mega cap growth. Like so far, unclear if that's going to be the continuing trend. Now, take a look at the high yield bond ETF, because if the drop in the 10-year yield was really telling a scary macro story about genuine economic weakening, you'd probably see more weakness in junk bonds. We're not seeing that. This is based, of course, on the price of junk bonds. The yields are near historic lows. So we're not seeing any cracks in the credit story. No stress showing up there. Also, if you want to take a look at the banks versus tech as a proxy for value versus growth, it's still retaining a lead. The banks are now. It's become very ragged. We're like 8% off our highs in the S&P banks, and tech has been much more steady. But it does show you that it's much more about kind of giving back some of the excess returns over the last year, and not necessarily a genuine handoff of leadership. We had the Fed minutes today, of course, could have implications for how the bond market interprets what level of hawkishness is coming out of that. And a hawkish Fed has meant a declining 10-year yield. We have also seen decelerating data. The economic surprise index is back toward neutral. All those things, I think, contributing to the yield move. But the action in the markets today, we're seeing banks tick a little bit higher. We're seeing the industrials do okay. Maybe that's saying the market's saying maybe this yield move is culminating at these levels and not necessarily going to plunge immediately lower, guys.
All right, Mike Santoli, thank you. We've got JOLTS data out just a moment ago. Rick Santelli has that for us. Hey, Rick.
Yes, Morgan, our May read on JOLTS is less than expected. We were looking for 9.3 million. We end up with 9,209,000, but it's still an all-time record. As a matter of fact, every month this year, we've been higher and we made new records, because last month had a big revision from 9,286,000 to 9,193,000. So every month still indeed is higher. The issue is from February to March, we literally leaped from the 7 million camp to the 9 million camp. It's not about openings anymore. It's about matching people to openings, and that's what the markets are focusing on. Morgan, back to you.
Rick, thank you. We're going to set our sights on the Department of Defense right now. The DoD scrapping, as expected, the up to $10 billion Jedi Cloud program that had been embroiled in...
Switch.
Yes, again, buying more financials on the dips. Certainly like the miners. We own Rio Tinto. That's our top holding in the mining sector. I think that's a spectacular play. We like, obviously, like everybody else, we like electric vehicles. We're playing that a few different ways. One of my favorites, we own NIO, which is the Chinese EV.
NIO.
Doing very well with that. I think that's going to continue to do well. And so really a lot of the core stuff, a lot of cyclicals. We're looking to buy some of the cyclicals on these dips. There's just a lot of good stuff out there. And then some of these are, because earnings are going to grow, the valuations are coming down, making them more attractive.
Very good. Listen, you've been a big part of the Varney Show for many years, Shah. So I want to give you the opportunity. It's Stu Varney's birthday today, and we're getting all our guests to send him a message. And would you like to give him one, Shah?
Of course, I would love to. Stuart, happy birthday. You are one of a kind.
Okay. All right. We don't need to be around for the birthday message. All right. Yeah, let's see what's happening here because it looks like let's see here. Arcimoto's down. AMC's still down that 12.7%. Workhorse down. EV's falling, huh? Lordstown's down. Canoe is down. Yeah, the electric vehicles have just been getting crushed. Here goes Neo going down. Wonder what you get paid right now on some Tesla sold puts. Not that I really need more Tesla right now, but let's see what they pay you. I don't know. Let's just see. Let's see. I don't know. One contract. 650 times 100. 65K. $5,000. 8% for August. Go like October. Nah. That's boring. That's just boring. All right, Weed Maps, Trade Desk, Ashford, Peloton. Yeah, these guys are all still sort of moving here in the same way that we saw earlier. It's really a little bit of a softening here. I think it wouldn't surprise me to see this kind of softening continue as we wait for those minutes to come out with the Fed. But yeah, some of that euphoria has kind of evaporated here. Yeah, DocuSign, Enphase kind of slowing down a little bit here. Go to the chart. I go to the 1 minute. See a little bit of a softening here just over the last few minutes. Trade Desk, 5%. Yep, same thing here. Peloton, I mean, hey, it's trending down. It's still up 3%. SoFi, I think, is red as well today. Yeah, SoFi is down about 1% today. And Etsy today, also down about 1%. Tesla, down 1.5%. But I think what we're really watching is just momentum get destroyed here. Almost down 13% on AMC. Not sure if we're going to be able to recover off of this right here. Let's see if this is going to end up being another one of these false bounces here. One to keep an eye on. Washington Post calls for serious probe into COVID origins. Okay, I don't know if I care about this right now.
Attitude towards anything and everything that Donald Trump proposed.
Oops.
Stepping aside as CEO and Andy Jassy taking the reins officially this week. I mean, I've heard estimates that for AWS specifically, the U.S. government is one of, if not the biggest customer for the cloud computing division. I just wonder, we talk so much about enterprise cloud from the private sector standpoint, whether you have looked into what it means for Amazon or others from public sector one.
Yeah, absolutely. I think while Amazon has not disclosed, we have published estimates that public sector, again, that includes U.S. state and federal, other government agencies. Even you could throw in public education, public healthcare. So public sector as a whole probably is about a third.
Okay, I'm pull off this. Let's go see Bloomberg.
Definitely coming, but he's not arrived yet. He plans to bring with him Andy Jassy, who took over as CEO this week.
Also boring. Fine then. Fine. If everything's going to be boring, let's go over to Bitcoin. That can't be boring, can it? So 34,800. Bobbing around its new channel here. DocuSign up only now 0.84%. Enphase only up 0.85%. So a little bit of a pullback here on some of the names that were running this morning. Yeah, even DQ started dropping. DQ, Canadian Solar, all these guys kind of pulling back a little bit. What a bizarre market. Interesting. Okay. Fox and Washington Post agreeing on something. Oh, no. I didn't pay attention enough to say. Metamaterial, 9.1% to the downside. Ouch. Palantir just get wrecked here along with the momentum. All of this momentum, all of it. Just on fire. Ouch. Hut 8 mining with it. Which is really interesting to see Hut 8 go down with it. Neo also. And there goes Lemonade. Lemonade almost down under 100 again. What a bizarro market. Upworks over here. Upstart's over here, 117. Simon Property Group. Tattooed. CRISPR. Mind Medicine. Mind Medicine, 3.2. Oh, how's Big Digital doing? Big Digital. 1.16. That's not really moving today. Oh, okay. Crypto forensics here. AMC still down 13%. Look at that consolidation here at that 13% line. You'd hope for kind of a run, but nope. Newegg. Let's go Newegg. Newegg suspended. Newegg running like crazy, huh? Yeah, it must be. Look at that, 28 to 46. Newegg. Oh, wow. That's crazy. Now, Newegg ran, it looks like yesterday as well. Yeah, yesterday Newegg had a crazy run. Oh, wow. It's had some crazy runs here the past few days. Let me just go to the day chart. Oh, my gosh. What is happening here? Look at that chart. Oh, my gosh. I wonder what's causing this. I mean, this is an insane amount of volume coming into Newegg here. Suspended on the upside. Hold on, let's see here. Let me get a little bit of news on Newegg. Newegg. Okay, let's see here. Newegg, company news. Let's see what's up. So Newegg halted due to volatility. Yeah, no kidding. Okay. Newegg offers on-demand assembly of custom PC. Newegg commerce offer. Yep, we okay. It can't be that. On-demand assembly of PCs. I mean, maybe. It's actually not a bad idea. Let people buy the parts and then they'll assemble it for you. It's not a bad idea. It could open up a whole new market. It's a lot of competition for people building, for PC building businesses. But I don't particularly see anything. Conservation. No. Wow. Newegg suddenly surges to highest level since 2015. Jeez. Let me look at their financials. Let's see what we got here. Newegg. By the way, we will be going to the course member live stream in a few minutes. If you have not joined yet, highly encourage you to join. Use that coupon code link below. Okay, so Newegg is not going to be profitable this year, but how about in the future? We actually can't even, we don't even have projections going forward. And their sales have been declining. 2017 was a decline in 18, decline in 19, decline in 20. Ugh. So a company with, substantially declining sales, all of a sudden doing this. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, that's crazy. Oh my gosh. The thing was $3 last year. Okay. All right. Well, it's almost kind of like all the momentum's like, hey, if AMC's not going to work, let's just all go over to Newegg. Oh, we'll track them. GameStop 8.65, DD down almost 7% here. Trade Desk. Oh, everything's pretty much holding on pretty well. Coinbase, Pinterest, not bad, with the exception of the cars. EVs are getting wrecked, including Tesla. Oh yeah, 1.31%. Well, that's not as horrible. Let's see here. Low volume stock with ownership, controlling majority of shares. Well, there you go. Newegg stock soars as sold out NVIDIA GPUs appear in product lottery. Okay. Should I just take losses and put consolidated in my highest conviction stock? You know, this statement here always very much confuses me. Because usually when people say this, what they really mean to say is, can somebody give me permission to sell at the bottom and buy at the top? It's So you got to be really careful saying stuff like this. It depends what you're investing in. That's what it matters. Newegg selling Apple refurbs. Apple refurbs. Ay. Any low float? Oh, you think Newegg with its low float's just getting pumped because it's low float? I mean, it's up 77%. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, good job, Newegg. Stock gains paired gains as May data showed U.S. job openings rising to 9.2 million. So that's what led to a little bit of softness. Okay. AMC, is this trying to recover? It is. AMC's trying to recover. The ape's going to come back. See what happens. Wow. Nicola's down 7%. Kind of a boring day. See, I don't know. Could you get... Ooh. Let's see. Wish has high implied volatility. Let's go into Wish. And let's say you... Here, let me look at Wish for a moment. Wish on the day chart. These are May prices here. Right now we're sitting somewhere around... We're breaking some of the lows here. We're going to trend back to May prices? I don't know. $10. $10. What's anyone going to pay you these days? For a $10 put? $100? For how much do you have to put up? $10 times 100 times 10 contracts. You're only going to get $100. That's lame. That's too lame. And that gives you $1,000. You go out to August. It's also still lame. Nah. Fed minutes will come out later. Yeah, like 11 a.m. California time. AMC. AMC's trying to come back. It's coming back. Who this?
Case, of course. But, speak to me about this idea that basically you lock in fighter income at around 18% of gross profit, and a lot of other sports closer to 50%. And a lot of your fighters say, hey, we'd be happy for...
All right. Switch.
Buckhead Exploratory Committee CEO Bill White, and he joins us now. Good morning to you, Bill. Why do you think...
Boring.
The environment they're dealing with right now, because if that is the scenario, growth maybe starts to fade, but on the other hand, they're having to deal with significant cost increases in the middle of the P&L, labor obviously being one of them. That's going to be something that's going to feed through to the bottom line.
I think so. And, it's interesting. In the investor survey we just did, we found there was a dramatic decline in investors who expect profit margins to expand over the next 6 to 12 months. It had been up in the 70s in our March survey, people who were optimistic on margins, and that dropped down to, I believe, around 39%. So to some extent, I do think markets are starting to bake that in, starting to worry about it a little bit. But then I look at my analysts, and my analysts, are still pretty optimistic on margins. So it's really going to be, I think, a pretty messy reporting season. And I think those first couple of weeks are going to be very, very telling in terms of what management companies are saying, or management teams are saying, in terms of their ability to manage around those costs. They have a great track record. We don't want to underestimate them. But frankly, I do worry when investors who are very, very close to the companies have really reined in their margin expectations. I think that's it's a worrisome signal.
Lori, given those comments, what sectors are you positioning for heading into that earnings season for those who are able to pass on those costs and those who are not?
Where are the margins?
So I would say, when we think about sort of the cyclicals, and we do still have our overweights on cyclical sectors for now, we have recommended narrowing them a bit. But, when I think about the materials space in particular, that's one where margin concerns have been, pretty well understood. So perhaps there's a little bit more room for upside surprise there. I think consumer staples, one of our market weight sectors, is also another one you want to watch very closely in this reporting season, because consumers...
Boring. Sorry. Just boring. AMC's being funny again. All right. Well, momentum is not today. Unless, of course, you're looking at Newegg, because that's now up 86%. or 90%. I can't tell because it's moving too fast. It is like almost any low float stock just gets the big pump. Gee whiz. I wonder. Yeah, I mean, you can't really. I mean, if you owned it, you could easily sell some calls right now. That would be funny. Let's see here. Calls. Let's see. It's $52. You can't even get the new pricing right now. Oh my gosh. The call pricing's nuts. You go to $40. 21 grand. 21 grand right now. Oh my gosh. 40 times 100 times 10. Oh my gosh. Oh wow. The Newegg premiums today are insane. Oh my gosh. Okay. We gotta jump on over to the course member live stream. We'll start by talking about Newegg. This is nuts. I'm gonna go to the course member live stream. Thank you so much for being here, folks. We'll see you in the next one. Appreciate you.